Hey guys, it's Amy, your golf coach. Welcome to Senior Must Do series. If you're asking, why am I losing distance? Then you must watch today's lesson because I'm going to show you how to coil the easiest way ever and maximize your power. You guys probably notice how picky I am when it comes to your joint health, your muscular health, and your positions in the golf swings. This is because I had suffered so many different injuries from golf, and I don't want you guys to go through that. I am really here to prevent any injuries and help you make effortless power, because that's so possible. Dr. Corey in the previous episode has mentioned that golf is such a repetitive sport and you're making hundreds and thousands of the same swings. If you are straining your body or moving the wrong way, it's so easy to hurt yourself and you'll be out for months, if not forever. So we don't want that to happen to you guys. Let's talk about your coil. I'm going to show you the easiest way to coil. It's one of my secrets. You guys always say how effortless my swing looks. This is because of today's point. Okay, so if we talk about a normal coil in the backswing, we're known to hold our lower body really still and coil our upper body, and that creates a lot of coil. If you have a bad back, weak glutes or weak core, you feel it in your back right away, but more so in the downswing because you're uncoiling that much power on the way down. There's separation between lower body and upper body with a lot of speed, sort of like this. I'll try and do it without hurting myself. Oh, you're gonna feel a lot of pain in the downswing because the separation puts a lot of strain on your body. Also, you're just not strong enough to uncoil all that tension. If you're not strong enough to do that, you really shouldn't be making this kind of a textbook coil in the backswing. You're only prone to injuries when you do that. Instead, there's a lot easier way to do it. That's how I coil. So before I start showing you the drill, I want to show you like 5 main points to this movement you have to be aware of. So let's start with the 5 points. My favorite things to work with, the noodles. Ta-da! So the noodles are going to indicate the direction your knees are pointing at. A lot of people when you're coiling tend to make the mistake of turning the knees with the hips moving this way. This is the worst thing you can do to your body and to your golf swing because you're gonna lose a lot of balance in your feet, and eventually your body is not going to want to turn as much because you keep losing balance. It leads to lack of turn and becoming an armsy swing, which is the worst thing you can do. Instead, we have to learn the correct way to move your knees when you're coiling correctly. Your knees, when your pelvis turns, moves back and forth. We've done this before. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The knees move back and forth. This is the way for the irons. They always move back and forth. No turning your knees out with your hips. Really bad for your joints too. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, I just briefly talked about the separation in the downswing to uncoil that tight coil. So the hips go and the shoulders go. You probably have seen this drill before where you put 2 sticks on your hips, one on your shoulders, and on the way down, the hips fire first, and then the shoulder stick hits the hip stick. See the amount of side bend I have to do? So as you get older, you really shouldn't be making that much of a side bend like the tour pros do or the kids in 20s and teens do, because you're only going to throw your back out. So no touching of the sticks on the way down. Not that big of a separation in the downswing either. We really have to understand what our body is capable of doing. So no side bends, guys. Number 3. So when I start teaching the easiest and newest way to coil, my coiling system, a lot of golfers tend to make the mistake of using the hips all by itself and use too much of the hip turn. Now you're out of sync. I don't want that. Your hips will have to feel like, it's a temporary feeling, that it's following the shoulder's lead, not hips all by itself or first. Number 4, when you make that textbook coil, now your lower body is stabilized, your upper body is turning, so you feel the coil in your core mainly. But the way I coil, because I have such a weak back and weak core and weak glutes, I tend to turn together and I feel the coil in the upper thighs only, not so much in the obliques. So watch the tension in the upper thighs. You see how easy that looks in my upper body because all the tension is here, and I just release that tension to create same amount of power, if not more, because my back isn't aching, so I can create a lot of speed. So coil in your thighs, upper thighs, instead of your obliques. Number 5, I'm actually going to get you to turn a lot better in the backswing. When we have turned more in the backswing, now we absolutely have to work on your downswing as well. If you turn more and you have your old downswing, you're going to miss the ball. So if you've turned more in the backswing, you have to turn through just as much to get that great contact going and create a lot of speed and power. So let's go right into my Aimee 5 drill. Ta-da! These arrows are supposed to indicate your angles, so you're not like coming up and out of it, but it's quite hot out here and they've lost a little bit of strength, so they're kind of droopy. So next time I'll make them a little bit more sturdy, but you get the idea. So I don't want you to ever come up because you're going to completely miss the ball and start compensating. So the arrows always point toward kind of like the ball direction, okay? So one is on your hips, one is on your shoulders, and you're going to do this. In the backswing, it'll feel like the shoulders are leading the turn. And because your hips are stuck to your shoulders, once the shoulders start turning, the hips will follow the turn. So you feel the coil in the upper thighs, and the hips will actually make a little bit more than 45-degree turn because you didn't resist from turning. So shoulders turn, you're letting your hips turn, follow the shoulders lead right away, and then you're gonna feel like your shoulders and the hips are turning together through the ball. So your shoulder noodle is turning 90 degrees back and then 180 degrees through. You can't stop before that because we've promised to adjust your downswing too and make just as big of a follow through with the turn as the new backswing. So shoulders turn, hips follow that lead, and then turn through together. Shoulders lead, hips follow together. If you understand that concept, let's do it with the club in your hands. Grab a 7-iron, tee down your ball so you're not worried about hitting off the deck and hitting them. It just makes your life easier when you're doing drills. We're going to really pretend like the noodles are still on you, so noodle across your shoulders and your hips. We're gonna focus on the shoulder noodle first. Shoulders go first, hips follow the lead, and then together. Don't worry about how you hit it. Feel like you're hitting it 20% power, and you're just going to really work on that sequence. And you're gonna go shoulders and then hips and together, and you'll be amazed how well you start striking the ball and how beautifully that ball starts taking off. So once you get comfortable with the shoulders leading and feeling the coil in your thighs and turning together through the ball all the way through, eventually you'll be able to pick up some speed through the ball, and you'll be amazed how much farther you start hitting the ball effortlessly. So you watch my swings and you go, wow, that looks so effortless. It's because I'm not straining my body. I am creating a lot of speed with the coil in my thighs, but I am turning a lot, so there's a lot of club head speed through the impact. So this was my secret to not straining the body, but hitting it straighter and longer. Now you have been Aimee-fied. After golf, there is something that I always do. I've never shared it with you guys before, but today I'm going to show you how I condition my body after golf. Seragem is something Dr. Clements uses. He has like 3 of these in his office as well, so I have been using Seragem for a very long time. I'm super satisfied with my Seragem because the best thing about Seragem is, compared to other massage chairs or machines, it really gently resets your whole body after your body takes a beating from golf. It scans your spine so it moves accordingly to your body. Oh, that feels so good. I know I'm gonna get a very good night's sleep tonight. And because my body has reset, tomorrow's round is going to be even better. If you weren't coiling enough, or your coiling was inconsistent due to lack of flexibility or other physical limitations, try the Aimee-fied drill to get your body turning as one, and this will save your body and help you hit longer with less effort. Thank you so much for golfing with me today, and see you in the next one. Mwah.